From turnstile to turnstile, let's talk theme parks.
Welcome to Park Hopper Podcast. Welcome back to another episode. My name is Dominic Kiefko. We're here with Peter Brookhart. Peter, we are both on time today.
I was early.
Reluctantly, we are on time. I don't want to be on time right now. You don't like sleep. Peter, anti-sleep Brookhart.
Guess what time? Ask me what time I was out till last night.
Probably like 2.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably woke up at 4.
No, I woke up at like a little over 30 minutes ago.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But before we get started today, we got a couple things to go over. First,
Wait a minute. Do you have an Instagram?
I do.
Whoa, let's hear about that.
That's what I was going to talk about.
I know.
You can go follow Peter and Sarah Brookhart at the Brookhart Project on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and the YouTube, which is the main source.
I would love to hang out with the Brookout Project sometime.
They sound like a great group of people. Here they can be a little needy sometimes, but they're pretty cool.
And I think the husband in that group is just obnoxious, but
Yeah,
hey.
I hear he's kind of full of himself,
Oh.
but that's fine. That's fine. I hear they're pretty alright.
Well, considering Fred just left an Instagram comment on one of my comments, why don't you tell me about some little thing called Dom and Vic Eats?
Yeah, so you can go follow me and my girlfriend Victoria at Dom and Vic on YouTube and at Dom and Vic Eats Detroit on Instagram, where we go on our food / Detroit / I don't know what it is adventures. So go follow us there.
They're a good time, though, regardless of whatever they are.
Yeah, we're a blast in the past. A big basket of fun. A real big basket of fun. But also, if you have any theme park experiences that you want us to read on air, doesn't matter where it's at, you can email us at parkhopperpodcast@gmail.com so we can get those, read them, and share your stories on air. So please do that as well.
And then you cannot forget about our exclusive little network of listeners and supporters on patreon.com. Patreon.com/parkhopperpodcast. And what this is, it's like a exclusive Facebook where you give us support, and in return we provide you exclusive content, mini episodes of podcasts called I4 Rambles, specially filmed ride-throughs of theme park attractions with audio commentaries of history or opinion. It's a lot of fun. So check that out. And today is going to be a very kind of detailed, hopefully unbiased discussion of what the Disney Vacation Club is and how it works.
Yes, very exciting stuff. Something that I wish I had, but I don't because, like I said, I'm not the Brookharts. I'm not as, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but I'll keep it to myself. What's that look for?
I was curious of what word you were going to say.
Yeah, I figured I was going to say a word, but it probably would have came off mean, so I didn't want to.
So we've had a couple questions or a couple of requests to actually do this episode, but we've also had many questions about technicalities about the DVC, how it works, is it worth it? People seem to be interested. The fact that Sarah and I have had one now for a little over 3 years, or coming up on 3 years, and we now live here. And people are like, "Are you going to sell it? Are you going to keep it? What you going to do?" And we're like, "We're keeping it." But Dom, you've stayed with us in some of our DVCs a few times. What do you think of like the accommodations?
I mean, I love it. I mean, you can stay in a number of different style of rooms, but when I've stayed with you, well, we've stayed in 2 different types of rooms. When I stayed with you at Old Key West, that actually wasn't even your vacation club yet, but it was a vacation club room, and that was a 3-bedroom, essentially condo that was awesome. It had a full kitchen, dining area and 3 full bedrooms with bathrooms. That was awesome. And then when we went, um, not this past February, but the February before that, we stayed in more of just a standard hotel room at Saratoga Springs. That was nice as well. If I would have to give one complaint on the Disney Vacation Club, and you know it already, that is
Is
the
it
fact
the
that
towels?
yes, you have to clean your own towels, and they don't bring you fresh towels every day. That is something that I think when I go to a hotel, I just automatically expect. Call me spoiled if you want, but it's just something that I've always liked about hotels, and that's something you don't get when you have a DVC. And I
And
didn't know
that's
that until we went in February. I had no idea that was the case until we just went. I was like, how come we don't got new towels?
it's a valid thing, concern. My old boss from the Disney store, Rocky, she's been coming to Disney World her whole life and worked at the Disney store for I think over 20 years or about 20 years. And everyone was like, her uncle had a DVC. So many people were like, Rocky, DVC is perfect for you. You're gonna keep going. Why not buy in? And that honestly was one of her complaints was that. And her thing was, um, I like a clean room when I come home with fresh sheets and soaps and towels. And if I'm at the park all day, and to her, a resort wasn't anything but a bed to sleep in at the end of the night.
Right.
So if that's the case, through her cast member discounts, it was much more economic and financially sound to just stay doing the normal hotels. But before we get ahead of ourselves with experiences, let me just do a little spiel about what the DVC is for any of you that could be listening that don't know what the Disney Vacation Club is and what it is. It's Walt Disney World's or the Disney Parks and Resorts timeshare company. So Disney Vacation Club is a deeded real estate interest. They have a few locations around the world, but majority of them are in the Orlando, Florida Disney World area. And it's not your typical timeshare. Traditionally, when you think of fixed week, where you are set with the same unit, the same week, you're the second week of June every year for the rest of your life. They are on a vacation points based system. So you buy a certain amount of vacation points, and those you can spend at any DVC resort at any time of the year. That's what I liked a lot is the capability of one year we can go in February, the next year we can go in September, or one year we can go on a 10-day trip, and then the next year we can go on 3 small trips. So there was like that versatility with vacation points that I really like. So we get a lot of questions about the cost and if you should do something called resale purchase or buy directly through Disney. And there's a lot to it. And I think first and foremost is a lot of people, because it's Disney and they see the salespeople in the parks and the resorts, and they think about this when they've got little kids and they go to Disney every couple of years. The most important thing for you to discuss with your family members who are going to purchase this with you is if you're going to go to Disney the rest of your life. If you are and you need more than just a bed to sleep in, DVC to me is a good financial option. It takes about a little over a decade for you to break even on your investment, but for the rest of that contract, you essentially it's like you're just paying your maintenance fees, and it's you could do the math and you could break even and save money over the rest of your lifetime going on vacations. And you can take the Disney Vacation Club anywhere in the world. They work through an exchange company called RCI, and you can stay almost any major city in America has 1 to 3 to 4 hotels you can stay at. You can stay at places all around the world, beautiful resorts, and you can even do things like Adventures by Disney through the DVC, though I don't suggest it because it's a lot of points. There's versatility behind it. But that's all fun. Let's talk about vacations, because that's what we're all here to learn about with Disney Vacation Club. And from firsthand experience, like Dom said, we've stayed in DVC before. Sarah grew up coming to Disney World using a family friend's DVC, and then Sarah and I bought a DVC contract before our wedding with the hope of using it for our honeymoon, though we didn't buy it far out enough because we wanted to stay at Disney's Grand Californian hotel, and we were only able to find one night of availability. But that's a whole different story. What we did is we purchased 150 vacation points at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort, and Dom had a reservation booked at the Grand Floridian, one bedroom, the most beautiful room I've ever been in. But he bailed. He didn't. He said, "You know what? I'm gonna pass, guys. I don't want to stay at that hotel."
Was it nice enough for me?
No, it wasn't. Because you originally we stayed there the 24-hour day. In
You're talking about the Grand Californian. You keep on saying the Grand Floridian. You keep on saying the Grand Californian.
oh
That's where you throw me off.
oh yeah, sorry. We stayed at the Grand Floridian in Disney World for one night, and Dom had a reservation there with us. He was set to stay with us, but then he's like, you know what?
No, that was a situation that I was very upset. I'm not going to get into details about it, but there was a reason why I couldn't go. I wasn't happy about it, but that's all I'll get into. I was supposed to go. I was supposed to be there.
But at the end of the day, we were going to Disney World for just like 38 hours. We were to do the 24-hour day Magic Kingdom when it was open from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. We could probably do a whole podcast on that on a different day. But I don't think Dom would have enjoyed himself.
I always enjoy myself when I'm in Florida. Do I think? I mean, this is getting off topic. Do I think I could have stayed in the park for 24 hours and have been completely happy the whole time? No. Just because I need my sleep.
Yeah, I know how that goes. I know how that goes with you. So that's what I meant by that.
But I would have
Okay.
been fine.
But I digress. But why we stayed at the Grand Floridian for one night before we were in the Magic Kingdom for 24 hours is because we bought our contract and we bought 150 vacation points. So what that means is Sarah and I get every August 1st 150 vacation points put into our bank, and then we can use them whenever and however for the next year. And if we don't want to use them, we can bank them into the following year. And now this is another cool aspect that helps people who don't want to come or don't plan on coming to Disney World every year or multiple times a year, but maybe every other year or every 3 years. They have a bank and borrow system where we have 150 points and we can bank those points into next year, or we can borrow next year's points into this year. So in reality, that 150 points a year, if I only want to go to Disney World every 3 years, then I can borrow that next year, bank last year's, and then now I have 450 vacation points, which could give you like 2 weeks in a one bedroom or a studio, depending on how many you need to go. But the cost of DVC is a lot, and that's what people are like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. Why would I spend that? They don't think about it long term. And so right now, I believe Disney Vacation Club is selling at $185 a point. And the most average kind of contract is the one that we bought at 150 points. So whatever that math is, it's $185 times, if I were to purchase through Disney today, not including your taxes and closing fees, because you are buying real estate, so there are those closing fees, it would be just under $28,000. A lot of money. A lot of cash, Dom. You got $28,000 sitting around?
I don't. I
Okay.
don't.
So, what Disney, and many people don't, but what they do is you can also finance your vacation club purchase, and they actually do that. They can do that financing in-house, so it's very easy. You don't have to go find a lender or a bank to get a mortgage or loan out for them. You do that financing directly through Disney, and then they've got a couple different options based on your credit history, your credit score, and how much you want to put down. And that's what Sarah and I did, being 22, being 22 when we purchased a DVC and still in college and planning and saving for a wedding. We didn't have $25,000 to drop on a timeshare. But what we did do is we planned and budgeted, and we put a couple. We didn't even put much down, to be honest. Only a couple $100 down to secure our contract, and then we've been paying. We've had that financed monthly since then. which is super easy, comes through just the bank every year. I know a lot of people who use their Disney Visa card pay their finance charge and their dues on their Disney Visa, and then they get those Disney dollars back. But this is the part that really turns off people is the maintenance dues, because this is something that will never go away. When Sarah and I finish paying off our loan, Dom, it's ours. Like, our contract is fulfilled. In a sense, it's like we don't have to pay another dime for our vacations, but in reality, we do. We have to pay our maintenance fees, and this is something that never goes away. And you can pay them in one lump sum every year, or you can pay them monthly as well. And I have right here on the computer my 2017 maintenance dues, and they were $853 for the entire year. So if I paid DVC in full in 2015, when 2017 came around, I still owed DVC $853 for that whole year.
And if you used all your points in 1 week, how many days at one of the hotels could you get?
To do the most average, like not Grand Floridian, but maybe a Saratoga or an Old Key West or an Animal Kingdom, not like Castle View Bay Lake Tower. If I did a studio or a one bedroom, could probably do 6 nights.
Okay. So I'm not saying this in complaining. I'm just asking to give people an idea.
Oh no, yeah,
So
I like it.
you got to remember DVCs do not come with park tickets. It is your
It's a
hotel, right?
big
And
misconception.
so that $28,000 you're paying off originally. Say you have $28,000 and you're able to pay off your DVC second you buy it. Most people can't do that, but let's just say you can, right? $28,000 there. So now you are paying $800 a year for a hotel room for 1 week's vacation, a hotel room. Then say you're a family of four, so your hotel room's costing you $800 now. Now you got to buy park tickets, which is what, an extra, say, $400 a person.
$500 a person, easy. $600 if you're really gonna do it.
So that's $2,000. So you're still spending $2,800 a year to go to Disney. So you might be saving a little bit of money because you wouldn't be able to get that room for that cheap, but you're still spending $2,800. Now for me, and my family, we used to go and we'd always stay at for the most part we'd stay at the Valley Resorts, Pop Century, right? And to go on a 6-7 night vacation, park tickets, hotel, and at the time, a lot of times we'd get the free dining plan because they're giving them free a lot. Um, Before I did the college program, it would cost about $2,000, and I
But
didn't have to
that's everything. That's your
yeah
ticket, your food.
ticket, food, everything, and I didn't have to pay that $28,000 originally. So you have to. So I know I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here, but you just kind of like look at that as well too. And I'm not saying it because I want a Disney Vacation Club, but I'm just saying you have to be smart and look at what's best for you because you're still paying $2,800 a year for a Disney vacation. And if you don't go on a vacation every year, then you're paying $800.
Right, and Dom's 100% right. There are ways to look at that and be like, is this really worth it? Will it long term? That's why I asked in the beginning those questions. Or are you going to go forever? If the answer is no, then walk away from DVC right away. And if the answer is yes, then it's what kind of accommodations would you like? Because I definitely have, before I moved here, gone on trips where I wanted nothing to do with the room. So I just wanted to wake up, go to park open, stay, do rope drop to fireworks every single day, and I could care less about the room. I was literally there just to sleep and shower. If I lived my entire life like that, then I wouldn't have probably done DVC. I think a lot of people need to go online and look at the accommodations. And if you have any of like resort time, it's amazing because of the amenities that you do get. But yeah, it's definitely, you are signing up for a yearly cost that will only go up. Those maintenance dues are never going to go down. If anything, they go up like 0.5% every year because that stuff like that makes sense. Taxes go up, and you are paying property taxes on that. Costs of tires for buses go up every year, stuff like that. Because that's what you have to realize. Those maintenance dues and real estate taxes that you're paying are literally going to things. I can look. There's that big drama that happened 2 weeks ago now with the parking. Right, it was about 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Disney World announced they're going to start charging for overnight parking at the hotels, but there was a little asterisk on there that said that DVC members aren't going to pay, and it's DVC members staying on points or at a DVC resort. So if they're staying at a normal hotel but using points, they don't pay. If they're staying at a normal hotel and they're paying cash, they're paying parking. But if they're staying at a DVC resort, whether they're using points or cash, they don't pay. And I think it's not like a snooty entitled DVC thing is. And I'm a super geek and I look at every fine detail of everything when it comes to my DVC. And I pulled up online, I can pull up our budget as a Grand Floridian owner. I can see the 2018 budget. And in that budget, part of our monthly dues is going towards resurfacing a parking lot for $300,000 and a $1.2 million worth of costs in transportation. That transportation is helping pay for the buses that pick you up at the Grand Floridian. It's helping pay for the monorail that's going through the Grand Floridian to bring you to Magic Kingdom. And it's going towards the boats to take you to Polynesian and Grand Floridian. So you really are you're making an investment in Disney World. And that's one of the things that they sell, like you owning a piece of the magic.
That overnight parking only comes in play if you have a car, right? You're not paying that if you fly in and don't have a rental car.
Yeah,
So
if you have no car.
My family, who drives to Florida a lot, that would affect. But couldn't you just park at Disney Springs, take your luggage over, and keep your car there?
Not for they do like an audit. I don't know if they tow or ticket, but after 3 a.m. security goes through.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Tom, you can't pull a fast one on Disney like that.
You used to be able to do on their parking. And then
Yeah.
they closed up the Magic Kingdom area, so you couldn't get past. Not that we needed it; we were cast members, but
Right, right. Let's go into how you book with Disney Vacation Club because there's two main things, and this is super important because, like many things with Disney, some things are hard to acquire, like fast passes, and that's the booking window. So how far out can you book? Can I book, since I don't have the second week of June for the rest of my life? How can I use these made up points and book a vacation? And that's, you have 7 months out you can book at any resort. And then you have your home resort, which is the one that you purchased into specifically. And this is the perk of caring about which resort that you bought into. And for us, that's Grand Floridian. So for Grand Floridian, I can book 11 months out. So if I really want to go during Thanksgiving week next year, I know 11 months away from from Thanksgiving, if I want to stay at the Grand Floridian, I need to be on the phone 11 months out to the day, and I can book. And nobody else can touch that resort for another 4 months unless they are an owner. So if Dom bought into Polynesian because it's his favorite, and I booked in a Grand Floridian, but I want to stay at the Polynesian at Thanksgiving, and so does he can book 4 months ahead of me, essentially kind of like securing that the room type or what his requests are, because it could sell out by the time I want to book at 7 months out. So that's a huge important thing. But I'll be honest, I've never used that 7 to 11 month booking window. Like I said, I've only stayed at Grand Floridian once for one night. I've stayed at Animal Kingdom, Saratoga Springs countless times, Old Key West in the past 3 years. I've always stayed at those other resorts, not my home resort, but I know some people who are like, they treat it like it's the same thing. They come every Easter, and they want to stay at their home resort, so they book it 11 months out.
but
So there is...
I don't see that being a huge issue.
No, but I do know a lot of people are planners, and that's a hard thing. I was talking to some friends that were down here a couple of weeks ago that have debated about getting DVC, and For them, they like to do sometimes a short 2 months out trip. And if they have, it is, I would say, if you're doing short term planning, like 2 to 6 months or 2 to 5 months,
Yeah.
um, if you have a specific resort you want to stay at, it can be more difficult to get to secure that. If you want to do Bay Lake one year, um, 4 months from now, and you need a studio because you don't want to use that many points, you're going to have a difficult time doing that. But there's always, I always like to say, there's always Saratoga Springs and there's always Animal Kingdom available because they're both such large resorts. They're kind of like the moderate in value of the DVCs. But because of that, they're always available, and I love them.
Right. Yeah.
So that's how you book. Financing is done pretty simple in-house if you can't buy it outright, which I don't know anybody who could.
I mean, if I had the money, I could.
Right.
Like,
We did
gosh,
booking. We
gosh,
did.
Rich, I could do that. But you
Just
giving me
gotta-
that look.
You just gotta budget and plan right.
If you want to hire
Now-
me as a financial advisor, you can at parkhopperpodcast@gmail.com.
Here you do spend all your money on food. You always have too, and I think you always will.
Yes. True news.
Dom probably spends close to what I spend a month on my DVC that he does on food.
Oh, that's not true.
Dom also goes out to eat a lot more than I do. Like Dom would be blown away to know how many times I've actually gone out to eat in Disney World.
Well, that would be my issue if I was there.
Right, and that's the big thing is I think table service. Let's just break it down real quick, and then I'll get into the funnest part about DVC, besides staying there, obviously. Table services since I've moved here, which is just over 7 months, coming up on 7.5 months ago, over half a year, Dom. I've gone to less than 5 table service reservations. Less than 5 table services. And when it comes to quick service, I've only had my own quick service meal 3 times. 3 times since I moved here. Sarah and I usually split a quick service whenever we would like to indulge in the parks. Eating food at Disney is expensive, guys. And I live here. I can't be doing that even twice a week. Probably not even once a week.
That was very expensive.
But that's to put that in perspective. But like, there's always give and take. I've only eaten 5 table service meals since I've been here in 7 months, but I also get to go to Magic Kingdom every night.
Right.
So there's give and take. Now, here's something that we're going to talk about that Dom has, I think, had a little more experience in, and that's enjoying some of the extra perks of DVC. You know what I'm thinking of first, right, Dom?
The DVC lounge
Oh, yeah.
or the ice cream after the tour?
Let's talk about the ice cream, because I forgot about that.
Yeah.
For anybody who comes to Disney World and is like quizzical about DVC, or even if you're not, you know every fact, you've done research, watched YouTube videos, listened to our podcast 1,000 times, you know the ins and outs, the nitty gritty of DVC. You still should go do an open house tour. Dom has gone on what, 3?
2 or 3.
I've gone on about 3, I think. And at Saratoga Springs, which is a DVC resort, they've got a building strictly put to open houses. Where Dom, you've had experience. You explain this.
Yeah. So basically, they have like 2 or 3, maybe 4 models of rooms. I know we saw the Saratoga Springs house. Essentially, it's like a 4-bedroom, 2-story home. We saw, I want to say, Lonnie's room, and we saw one more. Wasn't there another one they have? They weren't showing the Grand Floridian at the time when we were there, but I think they show it now.
Did they still have Animal Kingdom up?
Yeah, yes, you're right. It is Animal Kingdom. That's what I thought. And an Animal Kingdom. And these are full rooms. They are full modeled rooms, all right next to each other, all different resorts. And you basically just go and get to look at them. Then after that, you'll go into an office with a DVC agent, and you will talk pricing, see if it's something you're interested in. They'll get your information. They'll call you nonstop, that sort of thing. And then after that, they go give you ice cream
It's
and like a
not
little
true.
ice cream parlor. And they got a great butter pecan.
Do they call you nonstop? Did they call you nonstop?
They called us quite a few times. They don't anymore, but they did
Wow.
send us
Oh,
stuff.
see, I didn't have that experience.
Well, I
I
mean, not
became
not like I'm over exaggerating, not, but they do call you after, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. They're trying. They are at the end of the day, there are salesmen trying to sell you this timeshare. I had a guy who I met when I was 19 in my college program. I befriended him. He would always let me know whenever DVC had like reclaimed um, contracts and would try to sell them back to me at a cheaper cost because he knew I was 19 and didn't have lots of money. Um, that's another thing is, and it works out that we're about to go into the extra benefits. You can buy DVC contracts through a resale market. There's a million out there. You can just Google DVC resale, but there's a huge difference between buying from Disney and resale, and that's has to do with the perks. Um, Starting February of this year, you were not allowed technically. I think almost all of the benefits, extra benefits of being a DVC member, unless you had 75 points that were purchased through Disney. It used to be 35, but they changed that this year as of February. You have to have 75 points bought through Disney to keep your basically your member status, so you keep those extra perks. There's dining discounts, merchandise discounts, invitations to free events, to special events. There's the Epcot DVC Lounge, which we brought Dom to. There's the Top of the World Lounge at the Contemporary Resort, which, Dom, we've brought you there, right?
Yes, I have.
And so all those extra benefits, which I like to point out, they're extra. They're not guaranteed. The only thing you're guaranteed with your DVC is your points. I could wake up tomorrow and that could have an email saying, guess what? We're getting rid of all of the extra benefits. DVC Lounge, closed. Top of the World Bar, closed. All those things are not guaranteed, but they add value to it. And that's the reason why Sarah and I have decided to keep the DVC, even though we live here, is because we want to use it on our family to come down and visit, which we are in July, staying in Old Key West. And then I like those perks. On the weekends, there's a lounge in the Future World area of Epcot where you can get some AC, charge your phone, get a coffee. They've got Coke Freestyle machines, and they bring around snacks every 20, 30 minutes, some baked Lays, some gummy bears. Nice
Jesus.
place to Cheez-Its, just to recharge the batteries and just relax. And that's an exclusive lounge that you have to show your member ID, and they look up your account to make sure that you're good to visit. And then there's the Top of the World Bar or Lounge, which is
Can I stop you for a sec?
yeah.
For the DVC Lounge, you don't necessarily have to be a member. I don't tell everybody this, but if you give them my name, they usually will let you in.
Give them your name.
Yeah, they'll let you in.
Oh, don't do that. Dom's actually on a blacklist for being misleading when purchasing a DVC. They've been after him for 7 years now, and every time he literally gets closer and closer, then runs away.
Just say, hey,
It's Dom.
it's Dom. They let, okay, go right up.
Oh, you're with him? Okay, just go on up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Every
Here's $10.
Yeah, they'll actually give you money too. Yeah.
No,
Continue.
it's a fun little thing. It's nothing too fancy, but it's just a nice little place to relax. Top of the World is a fun one for me. It's an exclusive bar lounge on the very tip top of Bay Lake Tower next to Magic Kingdom. They've got a light menu, more like appetizers kind of things. Great bar selection, the standard ones that you see usually everywhere. They've got a special monorail drink, I believe. And the kicker here is it's fun to go during the day because you're like over a dozen stories up. You're right next to Magic Kingdom. It's great to see during the morning with the morning sunlight, but it's more fun to see at night for the fireworks. They pump the music for the fireworks through the speakers, and you're seeing it from that high of an elevation.
Which is very cool. I highly recommend doing it if you get the chance.
Yes. And then you've got some other perks that come in, like 10% off merchandise, certain levels of discounts on certain dining experiences, table services, some quick services, not many. They do exclusive deals with Adventures by Disney. If you really got the money to go on that, which I would like to go on one day, but not anytime soon. They've got a special. This is supposed to be awesome, which we were thinking maybe in like 2020 to try to do, or 2021, is the DVC member exclusive cruise. Now, supposedly, Disney cruises are amazing. Never been on one. Would love to go. And then they've got a special cruise that's only for DVC members, and they do special events there, and it's supposed to be a lot of fun. I've heard
Yes.
literally nothing but amazing things about that cruise, and we'll get there one day.
Yeah, one day.
One day.
One
And then
day I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know. A wish is a dream your heart makes when you're fast asleep. The album will be coming out in January 2019.
yeah,
Yeah.
can't wait.
Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful.
I'll say two things more that are just little snippets of perks that I think will be good. And I don't know if Dom is aware of either of these, but these are just two extra perks that are going on right now. Wednesdays at 9 a.m. If you are going to Epcot and you are a DVC member, you can go get a behind the scenes tour of Soarin'. Have never done it. It's free. You just go every Wednesday morning. You can just go check it out. One of these days I'll go over there. I don't know when I'm gonna have my office will be closed on a Wednesday, but maybe I'll go when the family's on vacation. The other thing is supposedly right now, if you go to the Wilderness Lodge Resort, which has a DVC wing and those new cabins, you can go at like 12, 1, and 3, or 12, 2, and 3. And if you're a DVC member, ask the concierge and they'll give you a tour of a cabin. So I'm hoping to do that today with our friend Megan.
Cool, Peter.
But the perks, at the end of the day, I think it's just a few simple questions for yourself if you are on the fence or thinking about it. The perks are nice. Some of the things like Moonlight Magic, which is a free event. You get to go to the park at 7 p.m. for free, and there's unlimited food and premium bars. That, if you don't live here, is you're not going to plan your vacation around that special event. So some of the perks you're only going to enjoy if they line up with your vacation. Other things are more consistent, like dining and merchandise discounts. But at the end of the day, if your resort is more than just a bed for you, if you like the kitchen, like the space, like some of those extra amenities, maybe you cook a dinner or cook a breakfast or want to spend the day lounging around your resort in your room, DVC might be good for you. If it's just a bed and you're going to rope drop the fireworks, don't do it. And if you're not going to go to Disney World forever, there's two questions there. Are you going to go to Disney World forever? Then think about it. If you're not, then don't think about it. But if you're not going to go forever and you're like real business savvy, you could buy DVC and then say when your kids grow up and you don't want to go, or you and your family don't want to go anymore after 10 years, rather than being stuck with it for the next 40, 50 years, you could sell it. But you have to go through the hoops of trying to sell. Disney has to approve of the sales and everything. So there's that technicality of it. But if you want to go to Disney World forever, think about it. If you want it more than just a bed, think about it. The money is a daunting thing, but look up some more detailed YouTube videos about visually explaining the cost of it, because Dom and I have both sat through the open houses and talked to members and done some of the math. And if you're going to go forever, you do at least break even. And I know you can do it where you save money over your lifetime, but that all depends on how you want a vacation.
And how often you go. Great. So thank you again for listening to another great episode. This was one that Peter's been wanting to do for quite a long time. So I want to go ahead and remind you to email us at parkhopperpodcast@gmail.com again to send us your theme park testimonials. Go follow Peter and Sarah Brookhart at the Brookhart Project on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and a new Facebook group. Go follow me and my girlfriend on YouTube at Dom and Vic, and on Instagram at Dom and Vic Detroit. I want to thank everyone again for listening. My name's Dominic Heathco. This is Peter Brookhart, and this is the Park Hopper Podcast.